How to create the illusion of space in artworks. Space is an element of art that is the area above, around, and within objects. How can we create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface? There are 6 ways artists can create the illusion of space in a drawing or in a painting. The first way is through overlapping, size, placement on the surface, detail, color and value, and linear perspective. Let's begin by taking a look at overlapping. Overlapping occurs when one object prevents the viewing of another object or part of another object. If we place a blue ball behind this red ball, we are prevented from seeing part of the blue ball. This is because the red ball is closer to us. This is overlapping. The second way to create the illusion of space is through size. Objects that are further away will appear smaller in size. For example, the blue ball and the yellow ball appear further away because they are smaller than the red ball. The next way to create the illusion of space is through placement on the surface. Objects placed higher on the picture plane will appear further away on the two-dimensional surface. Since the blue ball is placed higher on the picture plane, it appears further away than the red ball. The next way to create the illusion of space is through detail. Objects that are closer to the viewer are going to be more detailed than objects that are further away. This is illustrated by the word stop becoming illegible as it progresses further away from the viewer. The next way to create the illusion of space is through color and through value. Let's begin by taking a look at how color affects the illusion of space. This mountain range in the foreground is warmer in color temperature than the next mountain range, which is cooler in color temperature. The mountain ranges become progressively cooler in color temperature as they get further away from the viewer. Value also plays a role in creating the illusion of space. Objects that are closer to the viewer will be darker in value, and objects that are further away are going to be lighter in value. This is illustrated in the image on the screen. The sixth way to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface is through linear perspective. There are 3 different forms of linear perspective. We'll discuss 2 of the 3 here. The 3 types of linear perspective are 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, and 3-point perspective. Let's begin by taking a look at 1-point perspective. One-point perspective begins by establishing a horizon line. The horizon line is the line that divides the sky from the ground. It can also represent the viewer's eye line. The next step is to place a vanishing point on the horizon line. The vanishing point is the point placed on the horizon line where objects begin to disappear because of distance. Next, establish the basic shape of the object that you are drawing. In this case, we're drawing a cube in perspective, therefore the shape is a square. Next, 4 lines are drawn from each of the 4 corners of the square to the vanishing point. A smaller square is drawn in such a manner so that each corner of the square touches each of the 4 lines of perspective. Now, lines can be erased to reveal the 3-dimensional cube. Value can be added to the cube to further the illusion. A second type of linear perspective is two-point perspective. Two-point perspective also begins by establishing a horizon line. In this case, two vanishing points are placed on the horizon line. Next, a corner is drawn in between the two vanishing points. This corner represents the corner of the cube. Two lines are drawn from each end of the corner to one of the vanishing points. This process is repeated on the opposite side. Next, the end of the cube is established by drawing two vertical lines where the cube would end. Next, a line is drawn from one of the vanishing points to the top end of the cube. This process is repeated to the opposite vanishing point as well. Now the lines can be erased and value added to create the illusion of a three-dimensional cube.